So here we are, first podcast. Hi.
How you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. Yeah, not too bad. A bit nervous, if I'm going to be honest. It's the first time we've done this with all these lights
And a microphone.
and microphones in front of our faces. And yeah, quite a lot of, I feel a lot of pressure, even though there
Yeah.
isn't any. You know, we've got no pressure here, but you always feel like you want to be perfect. You want it to go really well.
Yeah.
So it is a bit nervous for that. And yeah, how about you?
Yeah, I'm feeling that too. I'm feeling quite warm with the lights and the camera and
Yeah,
everything. Sitting
like
Yeah.
this is what actors and stuff like that go. They're like, oh yeah, it's really hot. It's like, it can't be that bad. It's horrible.
here. Yeah.
I mean, I'm wearing a hoodie and a hat, but it's still horrible.
And sat next to radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so why are we here? It's probably a good start for anyone listening and sort of what we're doing. We thought about this a little while ago. It's been in the making for quite a few weeks. We've had to go through a million different things. Strangely, it's not easy just to start a
Yeah, who
podcast.
knew?
Everyone's got one,
Yeah.
but it's impossible just to start one, which is wild. But we're finally here. We're finally recording, and I think we've got some really interesting sort of subjects, things we want to talk about. But if you could tell us sort of where this all started from.
Well, I think this came from when we were having our, the after shift beers, or we like to say Saturday night drinks, relaxing and just telling stories or unwinding and, having a laugh. And then I think we kind of sat down, couple coffees, couple beers every now and then. We're having these conversations. And we thought that, we probably not the only ones who feel this way in our industry and how we do this.
Absolutely. I think one of the best things we ever did was started doing that on, mostly Saturday nights, sort of or one of those big shifts, sitting around the table, having beers. Everyone gets a beer, all sit down and sort of just like unwind, especially after like a horrible day, a good day, busy day, whatever it wants to be. But having that moment of sort of
That clarity of the day, of that unwinding
and you can
the
sort
camaraderie.
of and you can kind of have that chat with everyone and sort of go, so how is everyone doing? That was a bit of a shift. Did you see that person do that? Oh yeah, and you have a bit of like, you know what? It might have been crazy shift. It might have been really busy. It might have been whatever. But you've got that niceness of you get it out in your system. You're not having to worry about sort of anyone going home and going, oh, that was the worst shift I've ever had, and then having no one to talk about it or get it out. Whereas we have that moment where we can
sit around the table and tell our little stories of the day, or
and just sort of have that moment of sort of, well, like I said, like the release, but also then go, what else is going on? So I find something that's really cool for us is we'll get everyone around the table, and we might have had just a normal shift. It could have been just a bog standard, absolutely normal shift, and then we're like, so how is everyone? What are we up to? And all of a sudden you find out one of the guys is doing something really cool, or we thought of this idea, around the table. But someone could be doing something really cool outside of work, outside of university, outside of Leicester, outside of anywhere. And we get to talk about it.
Yeah.
Which is really, really cool. And this is kind of where we all kind of sat down and said, this could be something quite cool, especially with, the way the world is and everything else at the moment. Everyone's like wanting to maybe talk and not necessarily being able to. It kind of let everyone else go, oh yeah, I can talk about stuff and, hopefully, things like that. But yeah, that's kind of
why we wanted to sit here and do this and ultimately share our stories of our industry.
Absolutely.
Or your industry as well.
Absolutely. I'm getting told off by our sound engineer /
we keep tapping the table.
We keep banging the table. Sorry, listeners, viewers, and everyone, if I tap tables, I promise I'll stop. I promise I'll stop forever.
All right. Don't be anal about it, man. I'm just trying to make it sound good.
Getting told off again. Okay, so like where we are, obviously with what we're doing, but I mean, we're going to try and have each of these episodes, the things that we're looking to do, based around certain things. And we want to try and introduce sort of our thoughts, our feelings, and hopefully maybe the realization that other people are going through this as well.
Yeah.
Um,
And hear other people's stories in the comments and everything else, and ultimately, eventually, have maybe people join us.
yeah, I mean, that'd
So-
be amazing, wouldn't it, if we could get people actually in, I mean, maybe here, maybe wherever. I've spoken to a few people already who have invited us to go and do some recording in completely different cities. So it could be
Really?
so it could be really cool. But obviously none of that's came to fruition yet, so I can't really say too much. But if it did happen, it'd be super amazing.
Yeah.
But I think that if we can sort of have conversations today ourselves, get people in, things like that, maybe just maybe there could be that one person out there who feels like, maybe things aren't great, or maybe they feel that, they're not doing very well at the job, and, they're always making mistakes, or, well, actually, people have been doing it like me and you forever.
Yeah.
I've made all these mistakes 100 times, and I still do them.
I tell you what, do it starting this podcast. I remember how easy it is to make a load of mistakes.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm still getting told off.
Yeah. So today's sort of, I say today's, that sound weird, but like today's sort of plan is to talk about nerves.
Yeah.
And I wanted to sort of bring up, things like, your first ever shifts, my first ever shifts, your first ever shifts.
Many years ago.
Yeah, a million years ago. But also how we feel like the new people within the industry, and how they kind of feel, or we feel that their shifts are going. They're new, and is it completely different for them? The training, is it, that sort of stuff. So my first question to you would be, what was your first shift like? How nervous were you?
Well, I was literally 20, so I thought it was a dog's bollocks. So I walked in, I was in a tight fitted shirt, like it was all tucked in, pure black. I strolled onto the bar and stood there next to one of my now long-time friends, and she kind of introduced me to the way of everything happened.
Yeah.
And I just remember shitting a brick. Just you walk in, you're like, yeah, I got this, and then you walk in, you're like, I ain't got a fucking clue.
I haven't got a clue what I'm doing.
Yeah. And
was
then,
the uniform all black? Is that why you went all black?
yeah, so we
Okay.
had to wear it was a black shirt with the logo.
Yeah.
Obviously, I just started, so I didn't have that yet. So
Very
yeah,
smart,
I just got
very
told
smart.
to wear a black shirt, so I did.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
And do you remember like your first interaction with the customer then? Because I remember mine vividly. Like, I remember mine, but do you remember yours?
Not overly. I think a lot of it was me just asking the robotic questions of, what are you having? Okay,
Thank you.
this please.
Yeah. And were you shown obviously with your first day, your training, things like that? I mean, were you trained?
Yeah,
Do you have a training day?
Absolutely
Did you have
trained.
training?
Yeah, I had a whole shift. I had 4 hours
Okay.
with now my friends. And
Yeah.
we sat there, and what happened is it's actually quite a nice way of doing it. Is what I now try and do if we ever have labour.
Yeah.
Which is you kind of sit there. They will do the till, and then you kind of shadow, but you make the drinks for them.
Okay.
So you've got not worry about any of the money. You haven't got to worry about any of interacting with anyone apart from putting the beer down that you've just learned how to pour.
Yeah.
Because it's the worst thing. It's being like completely thrown in the deep end or overwhelmed, unless it's unless some people do absolutely run by trial by fire.
Yeah. Oh, I mean that was exactly what happened to me. But like for me, it was completely different. I was told to turn up at a certain time. Like, cool, okay. So I did, and I was there well early. So I was like, I'm gonna show you committed. You'll get there a bit early. Jeans and a t-shirt. Like, thinking, well, I could give him a uniform or something. No, you're in the jeans and t-shirt you brought. That sound. Which I thought was actually pretty cool, to be fair, because then later on you're like, I'm going to pick up the cool t-shirts, I'm going to look real cool. And then obviously by the end of the shift, they're covered in everything. You look like, and you're an idiot because spending too much money on a
Worst
t-shirt.
thing as well is the simple syrup you get on you.
Yep.
Looks so dodgy.
Well, the bar I first started in didn't have things like simple syrup.
Yeah.
We served Carlsberg. I think there's probably even Foster's, some sort of cider and vodka, gin, and a few other bits. It was basic, but it was cheap. Like the whole idea of it was a super cheap bar. Stack it high, sell it cheap, get loads of people in, fill the venue, make as much money as humanly possible on cheap products. But my first ever shift was I remember getting the job. I think it was on the Friday. I had an interview. I think I got home 2 hours later. They rang me, do you want the job? Yes, I was so excited. Like, okay, cool. Come in on this day next week. I was like, okay, lovely. Now, to put it in context, I do not follow football in any way, shape, or form.
I'm the worst person
I
for it.
have to kind of now, but reality, I still don't remember half the footballs that are going on. So I normally each week pick a different team to pretend to support, depending on who I'm with.
I
And
loved
then
it when you followed Wrexham.
yeah, Wrexham. I
Yeah.
still follow them because why not Ryan Reynolds? But really, if you told me, I mean, I know they lost the other day, which sad times, but reality, I don't care. I couldn't care less. It doesn't actually change my life. For other people, obviously it does. But I remember I was turned up and I was walking in and lots of England shirts and stuff like that. I was like, well, must be a game. Like, not putting two and two together. Walked straight in, and it was mental. I was like, what's this? Walked over, saw the manager, and hi, I'm here to start. And oh yeah, Matt, lovely. We'll get you on the bar. I was like, okay, what's happening? It's like it's an England game. It starts in about an hour. Cool. So if you poured a pint before? No. Okay. You know where you can see the tills? Yeah, you're on that one. Any problems, give us a shout. Walked off. That was it. I was like, cool, looking around. Everyone else knows what they're doing. These guys have been doing this. They're ready. They're prepped. They look like they've put in war paint on. Like, they are ready to go. And I'm there just going, right. And then all of a sudden you just see this sea of white, all these people in the England tops coming through. God knows who they were playing. And yeah, and the first order was like 4 Carling, 6 Fosters, something else. And I think it was like someone said, I think they said Cavossier or something like that. And at that point, I hadn't got a clue what brandy was. So I was like, cool. I just saw something with C on it, poured that. They never came back, but I know it wasn't Cavossier. No idea what I poured them, but they never came back. But to be fair, they would never have got back because the bar was rammed. And I remember that, and every beer I poured was horrendous. I was really bad at it. I had a head like that, or no head at all. But back then, it wasn't as important because it was just cheap beer. Set it out, just go. All in plastic cups, just get it out. So I never really got pulled up on it. And it's only really like, when you're back in the trade this time around, you sort of realise it's quite important to get the right amount of head. Yeah. It's quite important, that sort of stuff.
Especially this day and age, with all the market and everyone expects everything to be prim and proper. Yeah. Even in your local.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And because you're paying so much for something, you expect it to be as good as it should be. Like, it's expensive now. Whereas, years ago, when I was at this place, it was a couple of quid a pint.
Yeah, you could actually get around for it.
It was like, around for tenner easily. £1.95. I remember when drinks went up to £2.5, and I thought, that's it. I'm not buying drinks anymore. This place, no, this is going under. You'll never see anyone in here again because it gone up to £2. But for me, like that was how I got trained. It was straight into the deep end, sink or swim, and that was the old school way of learning. And that was the way my managers were for within that first time I was in pubs and stuff, probably 7-8 years. That was the way you learn. Yeah. You don't have to do it. Go and learn to do it. If you fail, you failed, or you're in trouble.
That's how it was when I first joined the restaurants.
Yeah,
it's like, that's your section. You've got this. Go do it. All right, cool. I know how to write down orders, I guess.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. And you kind of find your own way, I guess, of doing, especially like writing down orders and stuff. Like
you create your own shorthands. Yeah,
2 steaks, 2 things. Okay, steak, smiley face. And trying to figure that out. But yeah, it was a very different way of doing things, I think, especially when we were started. It was very much get over it, get it done, and afterwards get a beer.
Yeah.
You'll survive. Do you think now, because obviously we're not that anymore, and we can't be, and it's not necessarily a bad thing in any way, shape or form, the way it was for me, because that's how I've learned to deal with things, and it's a good way for me. But now do you think, or do you feel that we've really developed our training? Do you think, obviously, not just within the companies and stuff we've worked in, but just like our general rapport with new people, do you think that's changed a lot now?
Yeah, I think we have to be a lot more delicate with the way that we do things and handle people. We can't just throw them into a sea of Leicester fans. We have to kind of,
Other football clubs are available.
Yeah, and you take them or leave them.
No, I suppose that is true. I mean, I think you can ruin someone's chances completely.
Yeah,
This job is one of those jobs. It's completely possible that someone can do it from any background, any learnings, anything. I think it takes a lot to do, and I think you've got to have that in you. And I don't think it's something you necessarily learn, but it's something you've got to be a bit resilient. You've got to be. But you've also got to be able to
You also learn to have a thick, that skin.
that
you know?
thick skin.
Yeah, you kind of balance that out over time.
And I think that comes in time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden you're absolutely fine with most things, whereas the newer stuff, I'm like, whoa, that person's been sick. I'm like, all right,
Clean it
cool.
up.
Let's go clean it up then.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously for those guys, it's a big deal. That person looks quite drunk. Well, he can't be served anymore. Let's get him out. I'm not asking him to leave. You have to, like, okay, I'll just ask him. That's fine, no problem. But I think with the newer people coming through now, I think that it's a whole new way of learning, and obviously trying to help them through that learning, and also giving them the best opportunity if that's something they want to do, you know, within the industry, stay in the industry, things like that. Or obviously if it's just for a bit of pocket money while they're in learning or before they find the career they want to do. I think the interesting thing is just that the way we teach now to how I learn and how you learn. I think that's quite interesting, and it's something that
it's much more developed, especially like the way we do it, all being online. There's so many videos. There's so many like click here to do that.
Very true, actually.
And
yeah.
so a lot of it is a tick box exercise, but in like the best
Didn't
possible
have
way.
any of the video. I mean,
Yeah, videos.
you know,
what were videos when we learned?
when before, this was YouTube a thing?
Yeah, YouTube's been at 2009.
2009,
Yeah,
2009. Wow. So not when I was in pubs then.
Yeah.
That was just starting. Wow. So like, yeah, no, there wasn't even like instructional videos. It was some old,
101.
it was literally just some like old dude at the end of the bar shouting at you to pour him a Stella, and you go, okay. You put it in a Carling glass and he throws it at you like, okay, I've done that wrong then, have I? Is that how I learn things? Cool. All right, thank you. Okay, so well, you know, like, you know, one of the things I always had, and I've always tried to do with new people, if I feel that there's a problem, and I say problem, someone's really, I find that lots of newer people are super scared about breaking glasses.
Yeah.
Like it's a big thing. So I remember when I first broke my glasses, and I was like, oh, rubbish, I'm going to get in trouble. Like, I broke loads of glasses. That's going to come out of wages. That's going to, you know. And I remember walking out and going, oh, I'm really sorry, I broke loads of glasses. And he went, well, there's the glass bin, put them in there. Oh, do I need to do anything? He's like, go and clean it up. Like, no, you don't need to do anything. So I think, and I have tried to do it with a few people. I've done it with a couple. Still one that I'm yet to break, and I will get them to do it. But I want them to just get a glass and smash it. Just smash the glass. Get it out of the way, so you don't have to. So it's not a thing anymore. Rather than being so delicate with glass, just smash the bloody thing and get it out your system.
I mean, like, worry about it, but at the same time, if it happens, it happens.
Well, I think you obviously worry about it.
Essentially, don't smash them all.
Because we need them. We need them to sell drinks, which then pay wages. So yeah, it makes sense. But like, get an old Carling glass and smash it. Because it doesn't matter. No one likes Carling anyway. Can we say that? No, I'm saying it. So
that's your opinion.
That's my opinion, my professional opinion. Okay. So what else do you remember from your like firsts, or like when you obviously you're nervous?
I've
obviously
got a few stories. It's quite funny. When I first broke a glass, I didn't want to break a glass. My manager at the time, it was very much like an independent kind of place. Like he paid for everything.
Right.
So you broke it, you were paying for it.
It cost him money.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you felt like you were the one who had to owe him everything for it. So, and he kind of made you feel that way too. But you know, that's kind of how you learn to respect things and other people's property.
Yeah.
But then when I started working in cocktail bars, things were breaking all the time. We were flaring. We were throwing things left, right, and center. Like that, it happens. I remember one time we had glass trays, and if we didn't have room on the floor, we stack them on bins. Obviously, now you can't do that. You know?
No, that'd be mental.
Someone was doing the bar backing for us, putting glasses away, and they cleaned it from one half of the tray. Yeah.
So it's uneven.
We all understand how gravity works.
Yeah.
Yeah. It not only flipped off and landed and smashed those glasses, it also landed on another tray of glasses.
Good.
Yeah. So now we had to spend 20 minutes
mid-service.
Yeah, trying to
amazing.
Yeah, shatter everything and try and rewash the other glasses, and so we can actually serve things in. And it's a cocktail bar. We can't use plastics, so you can't just here you go.
Here's a plastic glass. Enjoy.
Here's your porn star martini in a highball. It doesn't work that way.
We had. I remember working at a bar with. I was covering, and it was like around Christmas time, and it was a good vibe. Everyone's having a really good time. So obviously you start showing off a little bit, you're having a bit of fun. And obviously at the bar at the time, it was crazy, crazy busy, like 4 or 5 deep at the bar. And it was a really big bar. And someone ordered loads of those drinks. I was like, yeah, I can do that. And I'm sorting out one cocktail. I was like, oh, I don't have any Boston Shakers left. Not thinking more than once. I went, just put it in a cocktail, it'll be fine. Shaking the first one poured, no one. I was like, and that one was doing fine. I was like, it didn't break. Shaking it, and then I flipped it up like a knobhead, and the thing just went, and literally over about 20 customers, all their drinks got covered in glass. I was covered in glass. There was glass everywhere, and I was just like, obviously the cocktail all over me, and I just was like,
That's my day.
so if everyone can tell me what they were drinking, I'll get you new ones. But first I need to just change because, yeah, that was around Christmas time years and years ago. That wasn't fun. That wasn't fun at all. I think now, like with a lot of the, the nerves and stuff come from, or the newer people, it's that first time you've done something. And like you say, it's the first time you've broken the glass, first shift, first bit of confrontation, because that's a big one. Confrontation's huge. And obviously very dependent on what bars you're in and things like that anyway. Some bars it's every day, because of the type of place you are, where you're located, whatever. And other times it's very rare. And I think, to be honest, sometimes when it's very rare, it's scarier because you forget how
unconditioned.
You're not used to sort of dealing with it. And I think that again is something that, obviously being in the industry like yourself for such a long time, doesn't really faze me anymore.
No.
Unless it's truly a dangerous situation, and then obviously then it's very different. But if it's some normal sort of conversation, customers maybe not too happy, they're not getting served because they're a bit too drunk and they've walked in, like, I'm really sorry, and then obviously they're getting a bit mouthy, whatever it might be. Or like your story, what happened the other day when you asked someone to not vape?
Yeah, me and Sam were chilling, trying to get someone not to vape in that pub that our company doesn't allow to be vaped in, and one little tug of his jacket, and guy flipped. Yeah, might have had a little a packet or two.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it didn't help. But he decided to retaliate with that instead of, no worries, lads. I'm gonna rip your cocktail bar off the thing, and just grabbed our tea bar and was just back and forth with it. And it just kind of came off. I just remember holding it and kind of handing it over to our colleague at the time, and was like,
"Can you hold this?"
Yeah, I'm gonna go sort this out. And in the end, I just managed. He was very irate and wanted to fight. Not really in the mood to fight these days.
No.
So I kind of just walked over to the end of the bar, turned all the lights up, and was like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks to this guy, we're all closed now. So, toodles. Yeah. And some ways that's how you have to de-escalate it.
Yeah, that's absolutely the best way.
Is it the best way for profits? No. Is it the best way to stay safe, then go home?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you got to think nowadays as well. I mean, luckily where we are, and we're situated, have these sort of problems, but you hear about a lot of violence now in like bigger cities, bigger problems, things like that. And you don't know what people you've got anymore. You can't trust anyone. So best to be safe than sorry. So absolutely, I think most any company, barman, owner, anything will stand by that. And I think it's key. And I think that's always a worry for obviously the new people as well. That sort of first bit of confrontation that maybe just maybe you could be dealing with someone, and then something else happens, which is rare, but it can. And it's always when something like that happens, and it's like, right, oh, it's my first time, and then the nerves, the adrenaline, the whatever else, and that's always not great. And it's not. It can be. I mean,
it's nice though when you see some of the newer ones take a little bit of responsibility.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
like asking some of the locals to come in to stop vaping and stuff.
Yeah. I'm just thinking more like the bigger confrontations, especially like when you get your once a year drinkers around Christmas and that sort of stuff. And yes, that's what we call them. And those sort of guys and people like that who expect a bit more, might get a bit violent and angry. Mostly angry, it's very rarely violence. But, with them, it can be scary, it can be, horrible. Yeah, and that's when, they go home upset. And it's got, and circling back to what we do, and that's one of the reasons, we sit around that table after work and go, oh, God, that guy, it was horrible to you. How are you feeling? And and then you can have that chat about, how you're feeling and stuff like that. And it sort of help gets that off.
But on a hospitality thing as well, we don't want people to leave upset.
No, not at all. And most importantly,
we try our best to make sure that
all of our customers, but reality, the staff, because they weren't for the staff, the places we worked, people out there, your turnover's rubbish, things like that is never great. But if you have a solid team who are through a thick and thin, you pull each other up all the way through. Yeah, you'll get there, and that's sort of the main thing. What kind of time are we on, Sam? Plenty of time. Fantastic. So going from, your first things like that, I think that's sort of all the things we're talking about now, but all the stuff we want to talk about in the next episodes and things like that going forward, the really important stuff. And I think, each one of these subjects isn't just like a time catch where you can only listen to it that week and that'll be it. It could be something that
a lot of things break down into multiple tunes.
Yeah, and we're sort of breaking them all down the planet, sort of this might be called like nerves or whatever.
Yeah.
And then hopefully, first shift will come up hashtag, I don't know, you're the internet whiz. But like, someone who goes, oh, I'm listening to these guys and I've got my first shift next week. And maybe they'll go, okay, it doesn't actually sound too bad. And, ultimately, like with myself, you and any managers in the world, if you ever get that first shift and you're on your first shift, your first ever bar job, you just go in there, ask the questions that you want to know. There's no wrong question, especially when you're new. And if you're, and I very much doubt it nowadays, but if you've got a manager who's not really willing to sort of answer those questions, maybe that's not the right place. Maybe go somewhere that's a bit more friendly. But I think, for anyone who's new and things like that in the job and potentially wants a career in hospitality, getting there through those first is the most important. It's the hardest part. And once all of a sudden it becomes normal, all of a sudden you're breaking glasses and you're not even going, oh no, you're just going, oh no, I've got to sweep that up, and it just becomes normal. And
I think the best thing about our trade is, the camaraderie, the friends. It might not be the longest term friends you ever make, but they'll probably be the best for that period of time.
Absolutely. And the thing is as well, it's one of those where you've got it's not just one group of people from the same background, from the same of everything. I mean, we're where we're situated, in a university town, we have a wide group of so many different people from
all walks of life.
Not just even walks of life, different countries, different everything.
True,
You know what I mean? It's not just like, walks of life from the Midlands or from London or whatever. It's absolutely so many different people, and then all those people have crazy different backgrounds and they have their own beliefs and everything else. And we're just like almost like a little melting pot where all these different groups of people come through, and we all very, very quickly. There's no prejudice. There's no like it's a very cool sort of environment because we're all there to get through it together. It's not the army, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
But, like where you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you all join together because you're the that's the group of people you put with. So you've got to survive through it. So you make the best of it, no matter what. And all of a sudden, you've got people who may not necessarily ever hung out together. All of a sudden,
you would have chosen to.
Yeah. All of a
you're
sudden,
thrown together on a bar and you're talking.
and all of a sudden, you're talking, having a laugh. Next thing you know, you're going to parties together, you're having fun. And I mean, some of my friends I've worked with that I never thought I would be friends with, I'm still friends with since I was 18. I'm 35 now. And I'm really good friends with these people still, and I still care about them. And we still I mean, don't get me wrong, real life's happened. People have got kids, married, houses, this, that, the other, but we're still in contact in some way or another. And even if it's just that happy birthday on Facebook.
Well, you look at us as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You're an old skater kid who used to like to go out and party.
Yeah,
I used to run about on a field all day.
Yeah. That sounds a bit weird.
Yeah, well,
I sound like a lost puppy then. I just run around and field all day.
I'm just a gazelle guy. I used to play a lot of sports when I was younger.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I started drinking, it all went out the window.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what it does.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the secret of drinking. But yeah, no, you're right. I think you get put with such different people from all different walks of life with such different backgrounds, and it's really cool. And that is something that not a lot of people get to experience. And I think if for those people who can get through the first stages of hospitality, first stages of nerves, first stage of breaking glass, all the little hurdles that really aren't hurdles at all, they're just hurdles that you put in your own head. You've got such an opportunity to make some amazing memories, some amazing friends, get put with a group of people that generally do care about you, and ultimately just enjoy a couple of years of your life having fun while you're at work.
Yeah.
I mean, don't want to go down necessarily the road of the things I've done in my past with work, but like for me, I've left the industry. I left it and had a good job, got paid all right. Like, wore a suit, drove around in a fancy car. Wasn't mine, it was the company's, but that's what they all do. These business people.
Yeah.
It's not really their car, and I hated every second of it. And I was good at it, and hated it. I hated it. Like I was just like, I can't do this. I can't do this at all. I do not enjoy any day of my working life. You work 70% of your life, roughly. So you need to look to enjoy that work because it's such a big part of your life. And you're 70% of your life, you're away from home, you're away from family, you're away from kids. Sorry, I keep banging. But you're away from all those sort of things. You need to at least enjoy that 70% a crazy amount of time. You need to enjoy that time. And I think if you're not enjoying it, there's no point doing it.
Very true.
I think, you know, no matter how much money you're getting paid, no matter, you know, unless it's millions.
Yeah.
And then, you know, fair enough. And,
You just do it a couple of years
hate the
and-
job.
yeah.
Hate the job for a couple of years, guys. Like, that'd be absolutely sound. I mean, I'd do that old job again for £1 million. But if you're not doing that and you're doing a real job, you know, that's fine. But if you get the opportunity, for anyone listening, if you get the opportunity to work in hospitality and maybe understand how good it can be, then 100% I think you should go for it. Even if it's just a weekend for an extra couple of quid that covers you one of your hobbies.
Best time to do it.
Absolutely. When you've got, you know, uni, whatever it is, you know, I can only work Friday, Saturday nights, whatever. Brilliant. Do that. Make a little bit of cash. And all of a sudden, you open yourself up to such a wide variety of amazing opportunities. Going out on nights you might not go out on, meeting new friends, family, whatever. So I think it's important for people to do it. Maybe.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think this kind of our walk of life, our choice of work, definitely teaches you skills that you would never pick up anywhere else.
No.
So,
Do you think that? And I mean, you know, people have probably seen that we've called the podcast. We can't do this forever. Do you think there's a time limit?
Absolutely. I'm not doing this in my 40s.
So you think 40 years old would be your time limit?
For me,
you?
yeah, personally, yeah. I think I might finish this out in my 30s.
Yeah.
And then, to be honest, I kind of, just want a more chilled, maybe life making bread or something. You know, I don't know.
Become a baker.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. Yeah, so go from running pubs to baker.
Exactly, yeah.
Amazing.
I'm covered in flour
Yeah, just covered in flour.
instead of beer.
Yeah. Well, it's the same sort of stuff.
I know,
It's yeast,
it's just,
isn't it?
without the...
Yeah, it's just never in. So, but that's my problem. So, like, for me, I'm 35 now. And yeah, I agree. I think sort of 40 onwards is the point where really you should be questioning, are you moving up?
But, I mean, that's
Are you
just
going
for
to
us,
get your, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I could do this, I reckon, another 10 years quite comfortably.
I reckon I could do it in my
But-
50s.
But
Friends of
well, the
mine
thing
have.
is, if I saw 50s doing it, I would feel, I don't think I've got it in me. Not at
Yeah.
50. But I don't know.
Not the 50 plus
You know,
hours. and
I-
stuff,
yeah.
but-
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you know, you get when you're doing sort of 50 plus hour weeks every week as standard, not those office 37.5 weeks where really half of them are on lunchtime and getting coffees and teas most of the day and chatting in the office about the
feel you're a bit
aircon.
prejudiced.
I am massively. I hate people in the office. Not just any office. I can definitely say I hate people in offices. I don't hate people in offices.
No.
But what I mean is,
He
I hate
hates the idea
I
of
hate the
working in
idea
an
of
office.
working in an office. And I do. It's something I couldn't do to myself, and that's the reason I'm back into pubs. I've done the office thing, but I think like when you get to that certain point in your sort of 45, 50, that's where you go. Now what? Do you move up? Do you become like, you know, operations? Do you look after a bigger group of managers? Do you do all this? Yeah, maybe. Or do you go, I've really enjoyed this time, and then take your transferable skills, because there is massive transferable skills from all this, into doing something completely different or new. I don't know. That's something I'll figure out, probably, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll figure it. Probably.
It's never too late to start again.
Well, I mean, if like a 69-year-old sort of went, oh, I'm going to change careers,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit too long. I don't know.
No, you got this.
Yeah? All right,
Yeah,
I'll wait till
I
I'm
believe you.
69
And then become a skater.
and then just test it and then go, told you were wrong. I'm now in the doll. Okay, so obviously going back to like what we're looking to do, obviously this one's about nerves,
Yeah.
but we're going to start looking at all different sides of hospitality.
Yeah.
So, you know, hospitality itself, what it means to be in hospitality, is one of them. We spoke about another one where we want to talk about how I say the dark side of hospitality is the wrong way. It's the vices, it's the things you pick up. like the million coffees
I
just
mean,
to get through the day.
I think we've had lots of little chats of things that we could transferably put into this kind of thing.
Exactly,
and actually have a
yeah.
thing.
And I think there's so many we've got that I think will be really interesting, and hopefully we can, like we've said, try and get some people in the
Share their light
in the
on-
new
yeah.
year, and we're going to try and get their
Yeah.
sort of things, ask them some questions, because obviously our experiences fairly positive, I think. With our first shift, someone could have had an absolute nightmare
Absolutely
and said,
blunt,
you
yeah.
know what, I left. I didn't come back to pubs and bars, clubs, restaurants for 4 years or whatever it might be. So we could have some of that. And we've got a lot of contacts between us that we know of people that are in different parts of the industry as well.
Yeah.
So it'd be really interesting to see if we can get those on.
It'd also be nice to branch out into, the bigger parts of this as well, like the people who look after a lot of people.
Yeah.
Maybe even the
100%.
people who, help our industry a lot, like on the mental health side of things.
Well, that's so the licensed trade charity. They're actually hopefully they're kind of involved with this a little bit anyway, and we'll be putting all their information onto our social media stuff, onto our website if we get a website. I don't know, whatever you crazy kids do with your technology. On like YouTube, Spotify, things like that. We'll have all the links, and it's a company that they'll look after anyone within the industry. So it could be that people are affected by people that are also working in the industry, so family, things like that.
Yeah.
And they're an incredible little, they're a good little
Massive,
company, yeah. And they help everyone from like financial problems, mental health issues, housing, and you can just call them. And you say you just need to talk to someone. You've had a horrible day. You need to have 10 minutes with someone you don't know. Just have a rant. They'll listen to you.
Yeah.
And they do so much more than what I probably even know they do.
I
So-
liked your little story we were talking about the other week.
Oh,
About
that's the one.
the lady with the washing machine.
Yes, yeah, that lady. So there was a single lady. She had a child, and she found out it was like obviously world's crazy expensive nowadays. So how it is for a single mum must be insane. So she doing normal bits, absolutely struggling anyway. Wash machine breaks. I can't afford a wash machine. What do I do? She rings them to talk to them. Just say, look, I'm really struggling. I don't know what to do today. A couple of days later, I know I'm allowed to knock on the door then. Wash machine turned up.
Yeah.
They bought her a wash machine. Like, that's incredible. Now, I'm not saying they're going to buy everyone wash machines.
No, but yeah.
But they go above and beyond to help everyone. They're a charity, so obviously they've probably got limited funds anyway, but they are there to talk to people. They are there to give advice. They are there to guide people into getting maybe some help they might need, financial, mental health issues, whatever it might be. They are there. So yeah, we'll put a load of information on that stuff anyway. Nice little snippet actually.
Yeah.
That worked out really well.
Cheeky segue.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll put a load of information on there because I think they are definitely worth mentioning.
Definitely.
And they're going to be a part. I'm going to try and get them on 100%. I think we
Yeah.
should definitely try and do that. So yeah, how are we doing for time, Sam?
I don't know.
Oh, I mean,
I think we're fairly good, to be honest.
wonderful.
Oh,
So I think that kind of touched base on the majority of things, the big plan anyway.
yeah. To
The
get this first one out of the way. is-
absolutely, we've got the
quite
first
nice to
one.
sit
We've got the
here and
first
have
one
a
in the
chat.
bag. We've got it kind of there. But the whole idea of this is just an introduction.
Yeah.
So this is like the pilot episode, I guess.
I like how we've done the introduction, but we've not actually spoke about who we are.
My name's Matt, and
Yeah.
I've been working in the industry for too long.
Yeah.
On and off since I was 18. I'm 35 now. Do the math. But like it has been too long, and I've been involved in it even when I've not been in it
Yeah.
because my friends are all in it. And again, that's friends I've met within the industry. I haven't talked to anyone I went to school with.
No.
I mean, if they listen to this, hi. But like reality, the friends I talk to now daily are ones that I've made in the industry,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't change any of it. I absolutely love them. So yeah, I've been in the industry far too long. I haven't done restaurant work because I couldn't do that because again, people wear shirts, and I've got a thing about wearing shirts and trousers. It's not my bag. And yeah, it's all been bars, pubs, clubs, I guess, for a little bit. But yeah, that's kind of my background. And I'm a general manager now, so I look after a big team, and yeah, it's all right. Just doing what we do.
Exactly.
So how about you? Tell me
Well-
everything.
Well, I started in this industry when I was 19, 20s, just, in my local pub. It was
Yeah.
great. It's fantastic. And now being here on my 11th year, and I've worked more. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's
11 years
crazy.
straight
As well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been ups and downs, restaurants, cocktail bars, little chicken places, everything.
Nice.
Yeah, I've done all sorts.
See, I've been to a little chicken place just so I could eat the chicken.
Well, actually, the chefs were amazing. They used to have these great ideas, and they'll just throw things together for lunch. Be absolutely bad. Yeah,
I'll be into that. I'll be into that. Sorry.
it made the day. It really did.
No, I'll be into that. I'll be into that.
And yeah, and I think, I've done a lot of learning. I left this actually for a little bit. I had a snippet where I went and did a lot of training.
Did?
Up and down the country.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Because, lockdown made an end to that.
And then lockdown ruined everything.
And came back and started working with you.
We'll definitely talk about lockdown at some point as well, because I think that's massively changed a lot of things.
Yeah, especially the way we work.
For the way we work and
the
future
customers.
of this. Yeah, no, that'd be really cool, actually. We'll definitely do what we believe the future holds, and like Futurama type thing. I'll get some really cool music. But we've called this We Can't Do This Forever, and I think the whole point of it is, while we're here, we can try and help people, we can try and guide them. If they've got any questions, we're going to have an email address. I assume that's what you technical cool kids have. So
we'll have an email address.
So if anyone ever sends us questions, stuff like that, that'd be cool as well. Maybe we'll do a bit of that. But the whole idea is to help people, talk to people, as best we can.
Help people talk to us, share people's stories.
Yeah, via each other, and hopefully with some guests, and hopefully keep this industry as awesome as it should be.
Yeah, and shed that light as well.
Absolutely.
To people who don't work in our industry. And,
it'd be amazing if people listen to this who maybe go to bars and restaurants and stuff and go, oh, why is it understaffed? Oh, 25 of my mates came in just now. We didn't tell you were coming in, but why you not got enough staff on? I'd like to talk to those people.
Yeah.
I'd love to have that conversation with someone. But yeah, so that's it. That's the first one done, I think. Unless you've got anything else you want to tell me or talk to me.
I think this is a good ending.
I love it.
Today, yeah.
That's perfect. But brilliant. So we're all done for now. We will hopefully be back if people actually listen to us.
Well, we definitely will be back, but
no one will listen to us.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think the idea right now is to try and get one of these every month, right?
Yeah, we're going to try and do them every month, and release them sort of mid to the end of each month. So it gives us a bit of time to, because we're doing this all ourselves.
Yeah.
So we're editing.
And we're all making it up on the way as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is all new to all of us. We're editing, we're videoing, we're doing absolutely every part of this ourselves. So it's a proper sort of, punk type way of doing things, but we're getting it done, and it'd be really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, all we need now is like an awesome sponsor. Shout out Liquid Death. But yeah, so we're all done. Thanks for listening. Peace.
Thanks for joining. I'm gonna do that.